Hello everybody, this is Moose101, and today we are going to be discussing the ban list that was just released. I don't have a ton of visuals again today just because I didn't really set out to get the cards that were, recently banned, because that wouldn't really make sense, but I figure I'll just kind of go through and discuss things that I thought about the list. So, first of all, there were some hits that were, I think pretty standard, things that I don't really have a complaint about, and I thought, were appropriate adjustments. The Jhin that was used with the Jhin lock was banned, which a lot of people were calling for, and I think was a pretty good hit. And additionally, Sherbet, the strategist of the Nekroz, went to 1, which I think is a good, relevant hit to his currently a tier 0 deck. However, basically the rest of the meta was left untouched. Burning Abyss received no hits of any kind, Shadal's received no hits of any kind, Qliphort received no hit of any kind, and the Nekroz hits, well, they, did exist, they weren't, huge, not the same way that the ARG list was. Personally, I think that's better. But what this hints to me is that Konami's trying to give us another little bit of time with the current meta without Nekroz being tier 0, just to kind of see how it pans out, because, well, yes, Nekroz didn't win our, national, thingy-majiggy. Burning Abyss took that, but I think part of that is due to the fact that people were siding so heavily, and in some cases main decking so heavily against Nekroz with things like anti-spell fragrance. So I think it's somewhat undeniable that Nekroz was the best deck until this ban list came out, so maybe they're trying to give us some time to experiment with the current meta scene where there's not such a clear, outstanding winner. So that's my thought on that. Lava Vault Chain was banned. I'm not happy about that. I mean, I'm not gonna cry about it, but I personally don't think that was necessary. I think it could have gone to 1, and that would have solved the problems that people are saying need to be solved with it. I'm hoping that it'll kind of climb back over time. I think that'd be really nice. But yeah, there's not a whole lot we can do about that. It is what it is. And Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, number 3, the one who froze the world, is back at 1. I think that's cool. I think it's awesome that we actually have Trish back. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping this could possibly be a little bit of a hint that Brio could maybe go to 1. I'm certain there's some sort of ridiculous loop you can do with it, but it's not entirely apparent to me whether or not there's actually one that's of any relevance. If there is, it's probably involving Infernities. Infernities were kind of neutered when Chain was banned, so if Chain being banned means we get both Brio and Trish back to 1, I can live with that trade. I think that's a good trade-off, but other than that, there wasn't a whole lot on the list that really caught my eye. Both Dragon Ravine and the Dragoons, the Lantern Dragoons, went to 2, which I thought was fine. These are decks that aren't doing anything really, and they got cards back. I think they could have taken it a step further and maybe given us one of our lovely Hornets back, or a Dragonfly and Insectors. I think I would have really liked that, but otherwise, there wasn't a whole lot to really talk about. There weren't any game-changing, I'd say, spells or traps or anything that we're moving around. It's not like we got, Snatch Steal back like we did at one point, and it's not like anything we have had, like, Vanity's Emptiness or Raigeki got banned suddenly. So, what do I think this ban list really is? I really don't think it's the complete. I guess that's the best way I can put it. I don't think this ban list demonstrates Konami's intentions in of its own because it feels so incomplete. There were hits that need to be made to keep the game from being completely degenerate, like Royal Magical Library being banned and Instant Fusion being hit in some capacity, that just didn't happen. And I feel like even though Konami wants to sell a new product, they don't want people to quit the game because these cards are running rampant. And additionally, it seems very odd that they wouldn't touch most of the meta at all and then just plan to leave it that way, because while I understand that the game does have power creep, I don't think, Burning Abyss or Qliphort is going to get power creeped out with the release of the next set, which would raise the question, why would anyone buy any of the new stuff if the old meta stuff is still in full power, which makes me think that either there's going to be some sort of emergency ban list, which wouldn't really surprise me. There's no end date on this list, like there was in the there was not a previous end date, and there's not again this time. There usually are, so maybe this means they'll release another ban list very quickly afterwards, maybe after Worlds or whatever. That would be a possibility. It's also possible that maybe some of the cards coming out aren't going to do quite what we thought they would, basically have them errated before they're released. Maybe Chicken Race could simply have the effect of Chicken Race can only be used once per turn statement. That would be good, I think, in my opinion. Regardless, I think we just have to wait and see, and see what happens to really make our judgments about how good this list is. For now, it's not doing a whole lot for me, but it's not a bad list in my opinion. There's only really one hit I disagree with, which, as I said, if it means other stuff can come off the list, maybe I'm okay with it. What do you guys think? Please let me know in a comment below, and if you enjoyed, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, see ya!